Welcome to Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions on Wolf Spirit Radio, Ever Beyond Radio, and Studio 9 Jam on YouTube. With your host, Jessica Ariel Morocco, featuring JP as the voice of Andronicus. Please visit www.readingsbyrael.com, that's A-R-A-E-L.
From the future, by way of past. I bought my ticket for the 15th century. We started moving through a hole in history.
You're listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions. And so we are approaching, well, today will be the 60th transmission from Andronicus. And technically, I do most of the talking in his specific transmission. But we're going to be covering some interesting topics and different things that are going on. And also later on, I believe we'll be joined by our guest, Audrey, and he's going to come on in the last half hour of the show and share some insights, maybe comment on some of the transmissions that came through. And, whatever seems right, we're just going to flow with that. But we also, really appreciate the insights that Audrey has, and seems to kind of understand our world, planet Earth, from a perspective that is having access to more information. As being a resident or coming from Lyra, and being around for quite a long time and observing things. So we can enjoy having access to that information, and I hope you really take it all in. But meanwhile, also we will have fun. I mean, some of the stuff is going to come through is a little serious, and some of it will be kind of amusing as usual. But we don't, we just take things as they are and roll with it and see what we come up with. So, JP, did you need to get your tea? I have a little spot of tea.
Of course, I just walked away thinking, I'm just going to get my tea. Just as you said, JP, do you want to get the tea? So I've now walked back, and so give me that amount of time plus times 2, and I'll go and get the tea. So I'll have enough time. All right, give me like 15 seconds.
If I could just have 4 minutes to be the Mad Hatter and start throwing teacups around, then I'd be very happy. But I'm glad that you're going off and getting your tea. So anyhow, we're going to have a very interesting show, and I need to check up. I meant to check up with Olivia to see where we're at with the website. The website, it has come up amazing. I have some of the illustrations of the characters. So for those of you who are trying to figure out who is who and what they actually look like, and I apologize for my juvenile way of drawing. It comes out very much like an illustration, and a little bit on the comical side, I guess. But I was observing something very, very interesting where I drew this picture of Meetis, and JP informed me, I haven't looked at the chat room yet, he informed me that Meetis, someone said that Meetis is their favorite character, and I agree. I think Meetis is a lot of fun, and even though he can be contrary, but there's that little, as JP calls it, a little snarky side that he has to him, that he'll say different things and do different things, that are a little bit out of the ordinary, and because of his personality, he's very interesting to kind of watch and see what he gets into. And yes. So
he's quite inspiring, isn't he? I mean, he is like the essence of being creative. He takes all the stuff that's around him and makes a little song about it.
Yeah.
And maybe even a dance.
right?
Yeah.
He's a little troubadour. He's a street entertainer. And he's a drifter. So he just, he's not from this planet, and he just sort of exists and continues to do all these different things that help him to blend in. And, time travel, whatever you want to call him, he kind of is in the know. He's an insider, but he's able to access information, but he keeps a lot of it to himself and tries to blend in, keep a little bit low key, but get whatever he wants out of it. And, so essentially we're gonna hear from him a bit. But anyhow, I was mentioning to you, JP, that I was listening to, Knights in White Satin, what's the name of the group?
Is that, Procol Harum or the Moody Blues?
Moody Blues.
Moody Blues, isn't it? Yeah.
And the lead singer looks a lot like Meetis. Same facial structure. So if anyone wants to see sort of what I'm seeing, take a look at him. And I don't know a whole lot about his background, but if you see there's a YouTube video, it was probably done years ago, maybe in the 70s.
Oh, that's in the late 60s.
Late 60s?
Knights in White Satins, late 60s, yeah. And they're all in, of course they're all in white satin. And, it's a whole bunch of words that, really doesn't mean very much. None of these 60s songs ever. Yeah, what's that other one? She skipped the light fandango and all that stuff. A whiter shade of pale. None of it makes any sense at all. It's just, they seems to be
maybe not to us.
Yeah.
Maybe there is a secret message there. Sometimes they do that, Knights in White Satin. I think what he's saying is that I got out of that song is that they're never quite able to reach their destination. They're never able to complete their task, even though they start off with some kind of heroic event and never quite completing it. And I had an interesting conversation with Audrey, and we were talking about, some of the stuff that I had committed to in previous lifetimes but never quite followed through or finished it. And this lifetime, that's what I'm doing. And here I am at this part of my life where some people are thinking about settling in, and I'm kind of ramping it up and meeting people and doing these transmissions, which is, a commitment to writing every week and taking in the information, sharing it with people. And doing, of course, my life commitment to assist people with my sessions. And I take that very personal and want to do my best to make sure I provide the right and correct information. And I do offer those services to people who are looking for help. And I am getting much more caught up now that my son has moved on to college. And yay.
Space, the final frontier.
Yeah. So, if anyone ever wants to have a session with me, I do, Akashic record readings and past life regressions. You can reach me at www.readingsbyariel.com. And also, I just want to note that if you are, please let me know by email or through there. It's Jessica at readingsbyariel. That's ARAEL. And if you contact me directly and let me know that you're interested in a session and then make a payment, but some people have made payments first and then tried contacting me, and I don't always check PayPal, but I do check my email. And I will be checking that more often, now that I have less on my plate. And thank you very much. I'm trying to, if I have missed you or I did not fully follow through or connect with you, please contact me and we will set up an appointment. So, also,
and likewise, if anybody's got anything, if I've forgotten anything, any sessions for people, please just contact me and I'll do my stuff as well with you. It's been busy. It's been a really mentally busy time, and somehow suddenly everything's gone emptied a bit.
Yes. Yeah, that's okay, because, the right people show up at the right time, and we're available. We're here to help. And so, of course, JP and I do different modalities. So it's completely fine. Whoever you feel directed to go to, that's fine. Or maybe you want to talk to both of us. It's up to you. But either way,
Wow.
here for service.
Tandem readings, that would be interesting.
We've done all sorts of things in the past, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was just I was talking last night to a friend of mine about the first hypnotic regression I ever had. And that was the one with you in 2014 that took me to a parallel dimension, rescuing a son who had got lost in a dimensional wormhole generator, and finding him and reviving him, and then scanning the timeline forward to a timeline that isn't our timeline, that is like what happens if Tesla was taken up instead of Edison, and everything was flying around, automatic, and little silver bullet vehicles and all that stuff. It was really cool. So that was the experience that I had with Jessica. So I was impressed.
Yeah,
I bought the company.
I do have the ability, because I'm very open to the Akashic Records, and I do have the ability to help people to open up. And so if you're really trying to figure out your stuff, for some reason, I feel like I'm able to do that. I'm able to assist in that area. And if it's difficult, I am certified and trained to help you not to feel so emotional, and kind of look at it in an objective perception. But JP and I, there were no, if a person is remembering something, this is a memory that's stored in their soul. It's not anything that we're fabricating. And at that moment, JP, when you were doing this, even though it was a parallel dimension, you couldn't quite put your finger on the timeline. You had an understanding of what that was.
Yeah,
And
imagine if somebody else who didn't know about timelines or had never watched sci-fi. I mean, it gets to the point now when I do remember you saying that there were other versions of me that were trying to contact this version of me through timeline portals. Was that right? Somebody was up to that. They haven't managed it yet, and even Borkum hasn't managed it yet. So I don't know how anyone else is going to manage it. But you seem to do all right. You can contact me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
So there's so many different aspects of our experiences, and different parallels of these experiences. And I do regressions myself. I believe in them. I believe that they've been very helpful in answering questions. But remember, when you start to remember things, some of them also have injuries and sorrows and pains involved in it. And so, as a person is, you have your traumas. In a previous life, you could have died in a traumatic way, and your soul does retain those traumas. And so you think that your pain is in this lifetime, and sometimes it's elsewhere. When you lift that, you can better deal with some of the problems here, although the memory of the new stuff sometimes can bog you down. So it's really clear to understand to let things go. You understand it, and then you let it go. And then you can move on and lift and release whatever else. And you're also working through your karma, which is really important, because you want your soul to be in alignment with Source and the highest and the best for you. And as you lift these things, your life becomes easier, becomes nicer. You start to attract the more pleasant things rather than the traumas. And so, it's an upward motion. I didn't get here by doing this work by being sedentary. I spent lots of time in meditation, and I also have done my work in Akashic readings and regressions. Really believe in them. I do it myself, and just recently I had another incident where I opened something up that was not in the typical timelines of my life, and so of my soul path here on the planet. But I also found incidences where I've been on off-planet experiences. And maybe we can get Audrey to talk about timelines. He was saying some interesting things about timelines yesterday, and maybe that's something that he can share with us. So anyhow, should we get started?
Meanwhile, where do we start first, my dear?
This is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask for a moment, and then we'll see. Oh, did I send you Tectotron?
No, you said that there would be Tectotron. You promised me a Tectotron. Where's that guitar coming from? I don't know. I heard a guitar in my head.
Yeah, there's there's a guitar. Are you feeling a little Meetis envy?
Meetis envy. Very good. Badum. Hey, where's my badum?
So there is a rogue guitar player in this house, so I won't say who it is, but anyhow.
Meanwhile, so
strangeness of my life. All right, well let me get Tectotron over to you.
You want to do I was using that effect the other night. I was reading like a pharmacological statement for Sean, and I started off with my normal voice, and then I slowed it down further and further and further. It got eviler and eviler sounding. It's very good.
It does end up coming out really evil.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit like.
It sounds like, it's supposed to sound like Bane.
What does Bane sound like? I've never seen Bane. Who's
like,
Bane?
Oh, it's from Batman.
Oh, right. Okay, well, yes. I'll see if I can find a sample, or find me an example of Bane making a speech, and I can, I'm sorry, I don't watch every cyber, but, I'm probably still.
There must be people in the chat room that know about that.
They may be able to find a sample for me. But, yes, Tectotron.
Tectotron. Oh, but, can you hear the guitar?
There is a guitar in the background.
There is a guitar in the background.
All right, okay, I wasn't hallucinating. It wasn't Meetis. There really is a guitar in the background.
There is, absolutely. Yes, I wasn't denying that.
It just sounded like it, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right, so listen, I'll open the door. Hold on a minute. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear him singing away.
All right, I have my own concert going. All right, hold on. Meetis is influencing my life over here, I think.
Sending music to you. Oh, little flower. Little flower. Anyway, so where should we go?
Okay.
Tectotron. Tectotron first?
Yeah, let's go with Tectotron first.
Okay.
Hold on a second, I have to open that up myself. I was starting to look up Bane. Let's see if I can find Bane.
That's all right. Well, we'll do it while I'm making a speech. Well, here we go.
Oh. Okay then.
So I think it matches. Like, you know, when people don't say, like, when we've been talking to the people's subconscious, we ask them to say what really comes into their mind, the first thing. And this, Tectotron is the opposite of that. He's the processed thing. He's the think response rather than the feel response.
Yes.
That's the way I feel it. And that in some way kind of matches the way, I don't know. I know it's supposed to sound like Bane, where Bane sounds like. We'll figure out. We'll get one. I'll make it. I can.
Okay.
Yeah. You play
So
that
you get
guitar.
started.
Play those notes till you're slim, boy.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here comes. Oh, damn it! I just dropped my mic.
Don't break anything.
You see, Tectotron comes through a very special microphone that I hold here in my hand. You see. So,
okay. Will I be able to hear it, or just the audience will hear it?
Everybody hears this.
Okay. Everybody hears Tectotron.
Oh, yes, they're going to hear Tectotron. All right, sorry about that, people. You didn't hear Tenkatron when I was doing the voice, so now you will hear him. So let's go for it, because I've got to swap hands and microphones and mice. There we go. So.
I'm back. Did you think you could get rid of me? I am deeply hidden and far away where no one can find me. You see, I am the master of many things except for connections. Sorry about that.
It's all that banging sound.
Yes, because I'm holding a mic in my hand. All right, I'll start again. I'm back. Did you think you could get rid of me? I am deeply hidden and far away where no one can find me. You see, I am the master of many things. Nothing can touch me. One day, everyone will worship me. I am beyond you, much farther ahead and untouchable. Don't bother coming after me. I can't be found. I will come and see you when I want to talk to you. You think you can save Adrian. What makes you think you can save anyone? You can't even save yourself. Ha, ha, ha. You are tiresome to me. You make me want to yawn. Go now. Leave me.
Tektratron, where's Adrian?
I thought he was with you. Ha, ha, ha. Look a little closer. You were wrong. He is here.
Then I saw Adrian bound by ropes on the floor of the ship. Adrian, are you all right?
Don't go near him. He is not here. It is a hologram.
I looked closer and he was right. It was a hologram of Adrian. Where is he? Where have you sent him? I demand to know right now.
You demand me to tell you. You may be cunning but never willing to admit you have been beaten. Take a look at me. Do I look like I can be destroyed? I have arms of steel. My back is strong and I can move like a soldier or a master warrior. Look around you. My machinery is so superior to yours. You do not have the power you claim to have.
I never said I had the power to do anything. I just want you to free him. Why are you holding him against his will? What is your fixation on him? It is odd, isn't it?
I will tell you. A long time ago, he threatened to take my forces down. He said nothing could stop him from doing it. We mocked him and didn't believe he could do anything until he thrust our spacecraft and bent it in two. My man began to suffocate from the atmosphere, and we were sure we would die. I held onto the sheath and withstood the rays that emitted from the craft, and it gave me power that I didn't realize I had. You see, my anger is not unfounded. Adrian was very bad. He must be taught to never attack us again.
Well, how did you overtake him?
I closed my eyes and called out to the great machine, and it helped us.
What great machine?
The one you will call God someday.
Well, where is it now?
In your future. They are building it now, but you and your people are not aware of it.
What does this machine do? Does it control the minds of everyone?
It is designated to work with a few. The rest must be subservient to the will of the few. It is written, and so it is said, the laws must be abided by us. We will hold the master keys. The others build it by our ingenuity, and we will program it. Ultimately, we will control it. You are foolish to think you could uncover what I am doing.
I don't believe you. Why don't you prove it? Show me.
And ruin the surprise? I prefer the look on your face when you are confronted with it at the dawning of the end of your world. You know, we will rule forever.
Isn't ruling a lot of work when you could roam about and be free? What are you afraid of? Why do you need to rule the world?
We wait for others to take control, and then we take control of them. It is a simple game where I always win. Like chess or tic-tac-toe, your insidious game.
Why do you say that? Because you lost to me when we played?
I never lose. It's all about calculations.
Then Tektratron started moving what looked like an abacus, but it had dice instead of round balls on it for counting. It also moved very fast like a machine as the dice moved to calculate probability of one action as opposed to another. If you were going to have the machine control everything, then why did you still need to imprison Adrian?
I suppose I don't. But I feel like you would gain something if I let him go.
What can I do in exchange that would make you feel like you wouldn't lose anything?
Let me see. Where would you take him? He doesn't belong in your world. He is unaccustomed to being told what to do. I am the only one who knows how to do that. Surely you are not capable of controlling him.
Well, why do I need to control him?
I don't know. Maybe he will harm someone.
It appears he has calmed down a bit. Why not give it a try?
Very well, let's see. Maybe I will bring him back for you to talk to him. We have already won everything. Why bother watching him any further? It is a tedious task. And besides, I am growing fond of you. Do you wear one of those fluffy sweaters?
I don't know what you're talking about. What fluffy sweater?
Soft, like a kitten.
Oh, that's creepy. No, I don't have one of those. Your clothes. What time period did you get your style from?
From your future. I see you are figuring things out. I have been watching you. I travel in your timelines.
You're from my future?
But I saw you seated on the rocks overlooking the ocean. I had my bag with me. You thought I was a local, but got suspicious. I have been following you for a while now.
Oh, I'm getting that sick feeling again. Why are you following me?
This is what I do. Rather, this is what we do. We go through your timelines to learn. I drew you to my time travel picture carrying what looked like a phone. Don't worry. If I wanted to hurt you, I would have already.
Are you looking for something?
Nothing specific. We find your culture very interesting.
So you came from very far in the future.
Yes.
Then why would you follow me? My life is not really that interesting.
Because they do.
Who are they?
The ones you call the Archons. The more evolved ones from the stars of Pleiades. I see you found a relative. I was quite emotional for you. You do have endearing qualities, motherly, kind, funny, endearing. We could use some of those qualities in our culture. We don't have mothers or fathers in the future. The machine is our closest parental guardian we know. Adrian will return to you. I hope he appreciates what you just did for him. He will re-enter your timeline. Tell him to stay clear of us or we will cause him greater harm next time. And don't try to take out the implants or you'll be sorry.
Why does he need implants?
So we can keep an eye on him.
When will we see him?
You won't. He will return back in time as if nothing has happened. Then we will watch him. If he tries anything or remembers, there will be a problem.
He already knows what you've done.
We know, you told him. But he must be reasonable, or there will be problems.
How does this all happen? Does he just reintegrate as a soul? Just feeling more whole or remembering more?
Yes, he will remember more. It will be hard on him, but he will remember. He will begin to remember the good and the bad, just as you did. You were the first and only one we allowed to awaken, because we needed love more than a warrior.
Can you read that again, JP?
I'm sorry. You... Ouch. Ow. You were the first and only one we allowed to awaken because we needed love more than a warrior. We have plenty of warriors. We don't have love. We don't have nurturing. We like you when you don't play games.
I was never any good at games.
We know. We watched you as a child. You didn't know why you had an aversion to games. We did that to you.
Not all games. I liked hide and seek and basic neighborhood games. I was not much of a fan of board games. It seemed tedious. I guess that's bad for some people if I didn't want to be a part of what they were doing.
We didn't want to deal with someone who wasn't straightforward. It is contrary and unlikable. Craftiness is appreciated to some level, but not in any relationship.
Why do you want to be ruled by a computer?
It is all we have. It is what binds us together. It is your source.
I would like to think our source is not a machine. I'm getting a little freaked out right now.
You will understand in time.
What are you going to do to me? Where are you planning to take me? Somewhere else?
That isn't necessary. We are learning from you.
Is Adrian returned yet?
He will be by tomorrow. I'm closing the door to communication now. See this as an act of kindness and peace rather than winning.
Okay, well, thank you for letting him go.
Wow. Okay, so we've got a godlike
He's an
machine
odd
in...
one. He's an odd one.
He's got his character there, hasn't he? Oh wow.
He does, and I went with my son to the beach, and he wanted to go for a walk on the rocks. And out of nowhere, this guy comes over and sits down, and my son turned to look at me like, who is this guy? And I don't know, and I was just like, and he wasn't even looking at us. He was acting as if we weren't there. And he's looking straight out into the water, and he had this like bag over his shoulder. And as I started looking at him saying, he sort of looks like that time traveler guy in one of those old pictures where it looks like the 1950s or something, and he's holding a camera or a phone or something in his hand. Right, he's wearing like a shirt that looks like he's from the 70s. His hair's kind of long. A little bit, not really long, but a little bit like not the style that they had during that time.
Very likely a Project Pegasus mishap.
Yeah, but
or maybe even a what they would call a kill shot, that that to prove that actually happened. They took those photos in order to make it just to prove to the people who are paying the funding for the project whether it actually works or not.
Yeah, it's either that, or I was thinking that maybe that was Technotron.
Right.
Because he said that he's been coming back from the future. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
It was very, it was a very weird moment.
Well, maybe again, Audrey might have some insights as to what the heck Tetratron's all about.
And when we say Adrian is not Audrey, or at least I don't think he is. So anyhow, I just
I wonder if
similar names.
I wonder if Adrian is one of the multiple clones of Andronicus.
Well, I do know an Adrian, and I've been talking to Adrian about Technotron, and we've gone back and forth about it. Ooh. And I just asked him if he could confirm it was him or not, and he wasn't 100% sure. So we'll figure it out in time. It doesn't really, I don't know if it's that important just yet, but it's definitely someone that's involved with time travel and so forth. So we'll see. We'll find out.
We seem to be finding out plenty enough.
Yes.
As we're going. I mean, this last 24 hours was just intense. There's so much going on.
Okay, so we have another intense one. We're going to.
Oh, right. As if things weren't intense enough. Where are we going?
Andronicus.
Andronicus is 60 now. In Britain, he might be able to retire, but not in the States.
Not in the US.
We keep them working till they drop. There we go.
I was in a subtle meditation when I observed a man who was very close to me in a cell that was created of solid metal. It couldn't have been much bigger than possibly 5 foot by 5 foot square. I heard the name Rommel, and then I looked it up, and there I recognized the energy. I recognized what I was looking at. It was an incarnation of Andronicus. I was in shock as I began to read the details of what transpired. It was Rommel who planned to assassinate Hitler. Instead, Rommel was sent to his own death of suicide forced by Hitler. I began to look at the expression, the image of Rommel, and felt a sinking feeling of misery and defeat. I believed that Andronicus tried to intervene and stop the horrible cruelty on the planet. There he was, hidden in plain sight. Then as soon as I understood he was there, and why he was there, he moved in and out of the cell. I felt that he hung on to me in that energy, the pain, the suffering, the sorrow, the failure. All my life, I could feel this. He couldn't die. Suicide just helped him exit. I began to search deeper into this. I would have known him since I was Sigrun, one of the Vril. For some reason, I didn't have any recollection of him. Himmler, yes, I remember him. Hitler, yes, but not Rommel. Possibly he avoided me to make sure that I wouldn't recognize him or wiped my memory of him. I don't know. It was a lifetime of many regrettable actions. As a member of the Vril, I was asked to use my gifts to connect to the Aldebaran, the Aryans, So whatever Hitler thought would assist him in gaining power, I know he would express an interest in cultural pride, purity of what they perceived to be as an ideal. I didn't really know what they gained from it. It ended so bad that I can't imagine anyone won. All of those innocent people who died for no other reason than a false belief system. My mind began to list all of the religions, teachers, followers, seekers of so-called truth, even as today there are teachers claiming to know the way to all of these things. Belief systems have gotten us into so much trouble. The crusades of the Roman Catholic Church, the wars between the Protestants and the Catholics, the disturbing cults like Jim Jones, and all of these things are not much different from the Nazi Germany quest for takeover and illusion of a false perfection that they could acquire. Some people may think that I am extreme in making these comparisons. Blood, so much innocent blood has been shed under the guise of righteousness. The holy wars of the Middle East, or jihad, has nothing holy in it. The genocide of the Jews, the Armenians, the Kurds, and many other African tribes, indigenous and native people. I felt the tears and the heartbeat of the earth raise a hand before the judges as a witness. All living things witness the truth of injustice and the cries of the innocent. Sorrow upon sorrow. As a seer, hearer, I ask for forgiveness for my own actions of the past, and then do my best to send healing to those who have suffered for it. In my quest to find Andronicus in this manner, I found myself in tears. We see our cultural differences. Did we know that even the factions or species or stars beings exist, as it is above and so it is below? We all have our differences, but yet we're all one. We will awaken to the fact that our differences make us more interesting, not more divided, that we are here to express our we are not here to express our eliteness, but our oneness. There is room for everyone. Can we embrace that?
I know I've been absent for a while, but have heard what you said. As Adri has told you, it is time for you to complete your task. Each lifetime you have been distracted or obstructed from your work. This time we are making sure you don't have the problem. My work in Nazi Germany was a success. It was not my goal to kill Hitler. It was my goal to disrupt and distract him from his linear and methodical process of taking over the planet. I created anomalies so subtle that it brought waves of disruptions to a neatly orchestrated field of a constant reality. That reality will never thrive after what I have done. Blame it on Rommel. Blame it on Andronicus. Now is the time for the new realities to enter, for humankind to begin making choices. Return to your birthrights of liberation. Andronicus. Oh, shivery up and down the spinio. Deep joy, deep joy. Yes?
Yeah, I had to just, I don't know, I had to just openly.
Oh, it really felt like a
something
purging and a heartfelt, literally a heartfelt plea to the gods for the stopping of all this. And said it all. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyhow, on to something lighter.
Meanwhile, hang on. Do we have a meanwhile? Let's have a meanwhile.
Okay.
Where do you want to
Meanwhile, Borkum.
Here we go. Apparently I haven't read it, so again, this is cold, so nobody knows what this, apart from Jessica, which is what, she's heard it before. This is why she's laughing, because it's, Anyway, so meanwhile, Primus, what have you been up to? I see the dog chases its own tail. You know it might benefit a bit if you listen to me. Take life to its fullest. Why'd you go on in sorrow-filled topics? A little levity goes a long way.
Be carefree, roam the planet a bit. Take what life has for you. Be free like me! Ha ha ha! Born to be alive! Oh, don't fret about broken hearts and injured romance. They all come and go. It is the nature of things. I'm sure I had broken many hearts along the way. Well, more than I can count, really. Let me see. There's the red-haired on Sirius, the blonde on Andromeda, the black Raveness on Drachness, the love who lit me a candle every day in Russia, my true love, who was more important to me than anyone, my cherished Elysia. Didn't care.
Alyssa, sorry.
Alyssa didn't care whether I was alive or dead. I would come home from battle, in my Viking years, of course, and drop my hat with a list of victorious events of how I protected her people. She was so lovely, Primus, you can't even imagine. Anyway, I devoted my life to protect her people, her bright blue eyes and soft lips. Anyhow, I told her I loved her more than my very life, and she would say, "What are you doing home now? Why aren't you off doing something constructive? Why don't you give me children, fix things around here, and help me be like the other wives whose husbands protect them?" Nothing. It was nothing in return. She didn't even allow me to sleep in her own bed. I would desire her like no one else. Finally, when I realized my love was in vain, I gathered my items, a jacket, some gold, a necklace and some shoes, and headed towards the door. She reached for me, and we made the most magnificent love. My desire was fulfilled, and I left before dawn. I conquered her love, but still felt empty.
Can I ask? Is this the same Elysia that I speak to?
Oh, no, Seema, she's another. Primus will soon know who she is. Let's leave it alone. They always know how to send her to us and crush our souls. This time we are all the wiser for it. I learned, so shall others. There must be true love, real authentic love, or let go of the charms and the false allurement. It amounts to nothing in the end. Raw fantasy has more pleasure than a manipulative lover. You can learn from this as well, Suma. I know you have had your challenges as well in this area of your life. But don't be sorrowful. The game playing is an illusion and part of the matrix of your reality. If you choose not to be stuck in this reality, you can break it and save many hearts going forward. It is time to remove the illusion of love. Be open to real, authentic love and let the rest go.
I agree, Borkum. So how do we do that?
Well, this is the only area that I have been defeated in. That is the reason why I was insensitive to you. I thought you were also a female who played games and hurt others. I see that is not the case. Forgive me for being rude and less of a gentleman in our previous interactions. Thank you for taking care of and looking out for my brother. He will be fine in time, and so will you. I am now pulling the grid from you. I know who put it up there. It was done against me while I was on the planet and never removed, to affect many innocent humans along the way.
Can I ask who that was? Who created a grid?
A female of the spider people. Very black-hearted beings. The queen of the spider beings wove a web of heartache on the planet. I apologize for this problem. I spurned her advances towards me, and I see she has gone after Mercury as well. She was a bitter one, and so very harsh and cruel. She doesn't take no from anyone, and is known to eat her own lovers if they don't please her.
Oh, that's disgusting. Can I
Sounds
ask what
like a
she
couple
is?
of my exes. No. Anyway, meanwhile...
She's still on the planet?
Sorry. I laugh at my own jokes. Anyway. Borkum. I don't know. I'm not searching for her. I don't like her brand of poison any more than you dislike the Scorpion King. Both are vicious and toxic. It's their nature.
Is she the one who created the concept we refer to as the alien love bite?
In part, she gave other species the idea to use lovers as handlers that furthered the process of control and heartache or loss if one didn't abide by the imposed rules of the lover. It is another problem you were victim of. I have seen some talk of you as if you were foolish for falling into it.
This is something so complex that it has taken down the most spiritual and wise beings of our galaxy. It is a horrible illusion of love that imprisons the innocent. They are all forms of trickery, but there are all forms of trickery. But the trickery of the heart can be fatal for some. It was almost that way with me.
What can we do to protect ourselves?
I need to find the keys to unlock the problem. Elisa may still have them. Primus, are you up for this mission? Oh, I'm not sure he will be willing for this operation. He gets a bit skittish over these things. Primus, you are the mighty warrior of past. Surely this is a small task in light of the fires you all stole. What's a simple key of the heart to unlock all souls? Think of the reward in this, Primus. All of your friends are there to support you. I trust and believe you, my friend. Don't be deceived by her bright blue eyes. Or maybe they are brown now. We'll see. Go now, mighty Titan. Take down the wall that lifts the web forever. I must go now. There's something stirring on Orion. I need to find out what Rhodan is upset about. Farewell. Meanwhile, what's this? What's this? Have I got another test?
Another test.
Uh-huh.
I was looking for Alyssa. Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yes.
Really?
The one he called Alyssa.
All right.
So whatever, she took something from him in his injury, or she scorned his love. So apparently she's around you, he said, or going to be around you.
All right. Interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
So shall others, I have learned, and so shall others, that there must be true love, real, authentic love, or let go of the charms and the false allurement. It amounts to nothing in the end. Mm-hmm. Raw fantasy has more pleasure than a manipulative lover. Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, this is the time we need to realize what's manipulation and what's real love. You know, because these people say I love you, but it means like 7 different things. And
you know,
how do we know the difference? How can we tell the difference? This is the game. And this is, and they're saying, you know, this is the key. That somehow in this little test, I'll discover a key. So it's more like a research project.
You know, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday.
Do I get laid? Sorry.
I was having a conversation with this young guy, you know, who's, you know, trying to figure out his life and figure out some of the problems, and reluctant to date because of, you know, some of the manipulations and things that take place. And as I was talking to him, we were having a discussion about how there's like books on how to figure out the whole craftiness of dating. And I'm like, isn't that horrible? Like, people just are not sincere. Everything's a game. And that there's a method to which is a form of abuse, to find, if they find a woman that's attractive, to be cruel to her deliberately. And, you know, just
that's the thing that I was never able to do. And that's why I never got laid for some reason. Because and this is the thing, you know, if I was an alien come to this planet and I wanted to mate someone, I'd have to be horrible to them in order to get them. Or you know, like Borkum, you know, he does everything for her. And then the minute he decides, right, I've had enough and I'm going to leave, that's when he gets it. Mm-hmm. You know, this is probably why they roll their eyes in disbelief. You know, what is it about this planet that turns everything upside down? Why is it that, you know, if you're horrible to someone, then they'll want to sleep with you, and if you're nice to someone, then they just despise you? What the heck's all that about, my dear Mother Goddess?
Yes, or if you show that you're not interested in them, then they want you more. And if you are interested in them, then they take advantage of you. If you have money, then they're after your money. If you're, I mean, it's all this, so many terrible things that people do under the guise of romance. And then they wonder later on, 3 marriages and divorces later, what happened, What happened here,
I think I'm number 2 of 5 at the moment.
I think, it was 1 for me, but, and my husband died from illness, from an aneurysm, but either way, it was probably it was ending. It's, the whole thing's sad. It's sad that people can't be straightforward, and I think I'm asking and requesting that can be remedied, and supposedly there was this grid that was put down, and Borkum Meetis talks about it a bit too, about the whole thing with, casual dating, I guess, from their perspective.
Casual dating from the gods' perspective.
Yes.
That's going to sound interesting. So, are we going to finish with Meetis or are we going to do Rhodan at the
Probably
end?
we're going to do Rhodan next.
Okay.
Do you want to do a music break?
Oh, yes.
Or should we, maybe we don't have time. It's already 3:00.
Okay. All right. Well,
we just have Rhodan and Meetis.
I do need a pee.
All right. Music break.
So I'm going to play, this is my version, you've never heard it on the guitar. It's, the Satie's Nocian, number 1.
Well, hello. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are back. Answers from the Universe. Here with JP, and we're going to continue the show. So that was a nice piece of music. JP, what was that from?
That's my version of Satie's Gnossienne number 1. He's the one. There's a tune called Gymnopédie. Right? They're kind of nonsense words. But Gnossienne, we're talking about the Gnostics and all that stuff, and it's been one of my favorite tunes. And it's also brought me together with various other people who it's their favorite tune of. It kind of just seems to hang in the air like a cloud city somehow, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very beautiful.
It's like a structure in air. Beautiful. I love it. Eric Satie, I think he's an early 20th century French pianist, composer. And he didn't really, again, like Pachelbel, he didn't write all the notes of the canon. He didn't write all of the notes, and he actually says, there's no tempo, there's no bar lines in his music. It's just like, feel this way, feel that way. It's very much, you express through this series of notes a sense. I tried to get the senses. But often they're kind of French and obscure kind of concepts. But that's the idea. So it's a sense piece. Anyway.
Beautiful.
Meanwhile.
So yeah, I'm browsing through the chat room. Interesting. And people are saying different things. They're like, well, what's going on? Someone says, well, I'm confused. I thought the natives revered the grandmother spider web. I don't think it's the same thing. So, interesting. Amy Delgado suggests, is it from the gate arch of the Hadrian near the Temple of Zeus in Athens? That's interesting. It's very possible. Thank you, Amy. See if there's anything else. But thank you for bringing up something about the creepy man voice. The creepy mom voice. That's creepy, Mom. That voice.
That was my childhood.
That's disturbing. Amy said that about Tektotron. We have some footage of Bane. I don't know how long that was.
All right, let's see if I can.
So Bane is from Batman, from the Dark Knight.
Yep.
And I want to see if it sounds like Tektotron a little bit, but that's the way he sounded to me when I first communicated with him.
All right, here we go.
There's a storm coming.
Yeah, come on.
Tell me about Bane! Why does he wear the mask?
No.
At least you can talk! Who are you?
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
And he takes off the mask
No one
to
cared
reveal.
who I was till I put on the mask.
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Okay, so
A little bit of Bane there, and I don't know why, and how that is sort of connected. But the first time I communicated with him, he of course is different, because he's not just a character.
He's a shapeshifter of some kind.
Yeah.
He appears in different forms. So, is he an Archon? I mean, is he?
Feels like an Archon, doesn't he? I don't know. Oh, time will tell, I guess. But why don't we move on to, we did Borkum, so next is Rhodan.
Rhodan. Good old Rhodan. Why do I like Rhodan? I got great respect for Rhodan. He's like Godfather. Well, he is Odin, I suppose. Yeah, one would. All right, okay. Shh. Who's that? Is that Borkum? What does he want now?
You said you were upset about something.
Why is he cascading through the corridor dressed that way? He's drawing a lot of attention to himself. Where has he been?
How is he dressed?
He's wearing a red cape. It looks absurd. For some reason, he's getting attention from some of the women. Borkum, what are you doing here? You just interrupted our meeting. I'm sorry, Rhodan. I just wanted to inform you that my mission was a success. Very well, but what is the purpose of that outfit? Who dresses that way? Do you always need to draw that much attention to yourself? Have you ever considered to groom yourself a bit and cut your hair? It's very long and unbecoming of you. Oh, the ladies love it. Watch how they glance at me. I light up their world. Enough of this. Tell me about your mission. Were you successful in doing what I asked you to do? Oh, very much so. Look, the dynasty has ended. I'm no longer a part of it, and I refuse to marry the daughter of the king that further prevented any future alliances. They were all very confused. She was distraught, although I'm convinced she was never in love with me at all. I think she was in love with my gold. I saw her eyes light up when I showed it to her. Oh well, an end to a dynasty. Very good. Now listen. I have another mission for you, but you are free to spend some time having your fill of food, drink, and your women. Go now and rest. I have a problem here that needs to be attended to. Tell me your problem and maybe I can provide insight. Well, Suma is discovering and revealing many things along with many others on Earth. Some of the hidden realities are being exposed and they are coming to me with complaints. They want to shut her down as well as others. I won't allow it. Furthermore, she discovered what happened with the trickery from Aldebaran that got her excommunicated from her people when they tricked her into mating with a simian on planet Earth, as well as their capture and control to extract information from her. Many were up in arms over this. This is the beginning of revealing how the star seeds have been treating humans who are sleepers beginning to awaken. Much is on the table now regarding violations on the planet and manipulations of intruding societies and altering experiences. It is a real mess, although it is the best thing that could have happened. It alleviates humans from some of the heavy burden of their darkest deeds. We have plans to take care of them because of horrific behaviors. I see. I don't know if I could help in this area. Just continue to provide protection to humanity. Mars has already stepped up to do so. It would be my pleasure. By the way, Suma heard the whole conversation. Oh, hello, Suma. How are you? I see it has been a struggle for you, but you did commit to these tasks. We hear you. You have more help coming.
Thank you, Rhodan. I appreciate any help I can get. Thanks, Borkum, for joining the effort.
Much love to you and your people. Be strong and vigilant. I have sent others like Max and Adri to assist you. I'm ready to conquer the discordant ones.
Borkum then swung over his cape and disappeared.
I'm always concerned about how dramatic he is. At least he gets the job done. Never a dull moment around here. Oh, now what's going on? Is that Meetis? I must go. It appears that I would not be resting today.
Okay.
Well. So it does. It seems that, Andronicus and Borkum, they just seem to create these waves of chaos that kind of knocks things back into place in some kind of haphazard and not quite deliberate way. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's like they'll run through the thing of China and the vases will just kind of gently fall onto each other and not fall down.
Yeah, the characters, they get into all sorts of stuff, and they all have their own issues that they're working through. You never know what's going to transpire. I never have any idea, and then the conversation starts in one direction, goes into another, and there's always a drama with them. I mean, they're not very straightforward. They seem to be struggling as we, kind of like humans do. But they're not, obviously operating on that level. Just imagine the mentality of a human having the superpowers to go out there. It would just be chaos, because they don't know how to manage things. And that's what they remind me of, Borkum and Meetis. Always getting into stuff.
They don't know how to. It's really very much like I see karma as like the mess that you leave behind, not realizing that you're leaving behind mess.
Right.
If you see what I mean.
I do, yeah. So, all right, we have our last one on Meetis.
Okay. I'm just. Can I ask, when you do the song at the end, that is a technical point, but when you do the song at the end, could you format it so that it fits on one screen?
Oh.
Because I have to keep scrolling it up and down, you see.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just reformatting it just now.
You're
to make
reformatting it? Okay.
Yeah. So, just, so.
It's true. I see that would be difficult.
When you're doing this, when you're receiving these things,
the channeled information.
Yeah. I mean, are they kind of queuing up? Do they kind of make an appointment, say, I'll be there later, or anything like that?
I have to connect with them, but yeah, sometimes, I'll be busy doing something and then they're wanting to have a conversation and they're telling me all sorts of stuff and I'm like, how am I going to remember that? How will I remember all of that information? And, so I have to go revisit it and then we re-engage in the conversation and I type it down. So.
Okay, good. Right. I'm getting that. I'm getting that.
It's not 100% easy. But there are times when I can go on and on and on and just writing and having conversations. But it depends. Some, just want to bring stuff up and then of course someone else will show up that I've never talked to before and gets involved. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Borkum and Meetis showed up.
That's right. Meeting new friends.
Andronicus. Yeah.
You're talking to Andronicus?
I was talking to Andronicus, and that's how I met Borkum and Meetis. And he didn't even want to talk to Borkum. Because Borkum is just loud and he's crazy.
And dramatic, but like
dramatic, yeah.
With a good heart.
Though.
With a good heart.
Yeah, he has a good heart.
He has a good heart. All right. Oh, sorry. Official Meetis jingle.
Meetis enters the court of Rhodan in an emotional upheaval. He is disheveled, his hair is a mess, his clothing is partially tucked in and out, and he is wearing 2 different socks, as if he gathered himself in a rush, as if there was a fire in his home. Upset, almost stuttering, speaking fast and very much in distress.
Borkum took down the love grid. Why would he take down the love grid? I can't believe he took down the love grid. Now I'm all messed up. What am I going to do if I cannot love my way through this unforgiving planet? Tell me, down it all goes, right down the tube. I shall never be able to flutter from household to household in the same fashion. What dismay, what woe, I'm beside myself. How could you let him take this away? This is my very existence of life, my life force and love. I exist primarily on these cat and mouse games, these romances that led nowhere, these dalliances and trollops in the hay. Grant me one wish, get me the hell out of here! Now, Meetis, haven't you learned by now that you are violating the natural laws of the planet? We can't have you destroying relationships, alluring married women, flirting with the royals and other issues by being an utter rogue upon the planet. It has all caught up with you, hasn't it? It's about time you take account of what you've done. So, tell me, did you discover love as you requested to do? Love? Is that what this is all about? You expected me to fall in love? Oh, how unworthy of me to find love in such a place. Everyone on the planet is looking for money, prestige, popularity. I haven't found any love in this place. Maybe on the heart of a young maid, but she even turns when she fancies a man who will do anything for her. I have tried this to be true, over and over again. What is sweet once, but soon turns bitter. It is a mix of herbal bitterness that one cannot drink down at one sitting. You are jaded, my son. It can't be possible that all humanity lacks the ability to find love. Maybe you cling too closely to the darker elements of humanity. Those who partake too often of strong drink and snuff too much, or savour very many varieties of lovers. These are the ill at heart. They don't know the vigour of life, the shining lights of the heavens. The stars at night are merely dull to them. Are you saying that you are much like them? Perhaps that is true. I shall ponder what you are saying. But how can I play if there's no one to play with? You understand what I'm saying? I can't tell the world who I am. I must be hidden. Are all the facades removed? Am I safe to flutter around without obstruction? Take this elixir, Meetis. It will heal you a bit from the poison you had partaken of. What is that element of poppy you enjoy? Stay clear of it. Gather your thoughts and we will discuss your mission again. None of us realized your illness and addictions to the earthly substances. You cannot rule well under these conditions, and it must be more aware or could be very detrimental to you in the future. A bit of the bitter flowers will do you good to cleanse your body of it. Wellness, my son, wellness will do you good. I have removed a stronghold from the Spider Queen. Don't engage with her anymore. She has intentions to steal everything from you. Oh yes, I see that now. She has been so clingy and unbecoming. I began to loathe her and she knew it. I'm very sorry that I have shamed you. It is well. Cut yourself free of her and you will feel better. Very well. Can Suma help me? Yes, if this is what you want. I'm sure she can listen to your sorrows. Break the magic from the poison of the poppy, and you will be free of the Spider Queen. I shall.
Meetis then left the council and began singing.
I'm off to fields unknown to see the poppies grow. I'll take them from their magic. Within them is so tragic. A blue, a red, a white, a wickedness inside. A sickness follows through. The sacred seed is untrue. It cut me down before to Afghan's open door. A fire burns within. The war in Afghan wins. I float above to see the wicked harpy. She stands upon the fields. I tell her she must yield and flee to kingdom come. This battle I have won. La 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 la. This battle I have won. This battle, scroll up the thing, I have won. Voila. Hang on. Headphones off. Meetis. Okay. I'm back.
Yes. And it is my time, 3:28. And the show's not over yet because we want to bring in Audrey.
Our very own
Yeah.
messenger from the stars. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
Stand by, Audrey. We're on our way.
Yeah, I wish, maybe one of these days we'll have him on for more than a half hour, because...
Yeah, maybe you could have do a whole show one day. But, what would, we have to have another show because of they won't stop. It's like my chickens, they won't stop laying eggs, you have to just keep eating them, So. Audrey's, not quite online yet, but,
Okay.
But, I'm sure he'll, join us any second or any minute. So yes, there was Meetis rather contrite, and not very.
Well, he's upset because he thought, well, he's not going to be able to go around and do some of the things he was doing, right?
I just love the entrance. He's disheveled. His hair is a mess. His clothing is partially tucked in and out, and he's wearing 2 different socks. So, the love grid and the spider grid. Oh, you got a message?
Yeah, he wants you to pull him in.
Okay.
And call him directly. Yeah. He's not in the group. I think the love, and I think it was, an illusion of love and deceit in love that the spider grid was. And like I said, someone thought it was, this Native American spider web, and I think that's something different.
Hang on. Did you call me or did I call you? Let me just start the call again. Give me a second.
You called me.
Give me a second. And let's have some more ticking. That's weird. That's very strange.
Hi, JP.
Hi, how are you doing? We seem to have some strange connections here. Okay, do you want to turn off your video, please, Audrey? I will try and bring Jessica into the call. We're getting... It's really weird. Skype is not letting me bring you both into a call together. How bizarre. How bizarre. Okay. Maybe you try calling Jessica and she brings me into the call? Right, okay. Okay, let's try that again. That's really weird. Very, very weird. Hang on. I'll call you back. Okay. No, this is very strange. Okay, so can I... Alright, so I brought you in, and every time I try to bring Audrey in, it just doesn't add.
Just weird.
And I can't bring him into your call. I can't bring you into his call.
He was, maybe he should call us.
Yeah.
Or let me see if I can add him.
See if you can add him to the... There.
Okay.
Where's that song? Where's that? I had a little tune. There it is. Always works when you put the tune on, things start working.
Yeah.
So we welcome Adrieiuous to Answers from the Universe, hosted by Jessica Morocco. Your show by now. No.
Hello, Audrey.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good?
Very good.
So it sounds like your audio's down a little bit.
Yes, I turned it down last night on Dave Scott's show to avoid interference. We were having some feedback problems.
Oh, okay. It seems good now.
Well, it's because I'm sitting further towards my computer. Maybe I should talk like this.
That's perfect. So, how did the show go last night for you?
Very well. I had a very fun time answering questions. Samantha Mowat, she was amazing, a wonderful woman.
Mm-hmm.
The woman from the audience that asked me out on the day did make me blush on the air, just to clear the air on that.
That was so sweet.
She made you blush?
Well, yeah. As I was saying, we had a wonderful talk, a very in-depth discussion. We've covered many topics, many various topics over that one broadcast, which lasted over 3 hours.
Very nice.
Including the overtime.
Oh.
The overtime. We had an extra 30 minutes overtime beyond the overtime bell.
Excellent. I'll be playing the hours 2 to 3, plus a little bit, minus the ads, everything, just after the show between now and the Strange Universe. So we'll get a good chunk of that, and it's up in the archives as well as a 3.5 hour archive, and it'll be stored under open source.
Max wanted me really briefly to mention that the Kennedy Space Station just had an explosion. He said that if you wanted to know more detail about that, to go ahead and ask him.
Wow. All right, maybe we can bring him in at some point. I want to. Do you have any comments on that, Audrey? Or
he wanted me to leave it to him to answer.
Okay. All right. So maybe JP, did you have a show immediately after the show?
Well, as I said, I'm going to be replaying that Audrey's interview with Dave Scott last night.
Okay, so because I wanted
we do like 5-10 minutes at the end.
With Max. Maybe bring in Max at the end if he's available.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah, but let's not have any more ado, and let Audrey have his. Would you like to comment on the show that we've just done? These readings.
I always find these readings entertaining. I love the way that you present them, the way that you embody each of those beings with a voice and a song. It makes it very colorful and very easy to listen to. It's such a beautiful thing. It really is.
Thank you.
Very enjoyable to listen to. I love listening to this show.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm a big fan of it now.
So I think a lot of people are becoming a big fan of you. As you said, you going to have many moments of blushing. I think people are enamored by you already. You have a very endearing way about you. You come from a place of love and acceptance and understanding and truth. And so it's going to be natural for people to feel like they want to know more of you and want to be close. And so be prepared for that, Audrey.
Indeed. This was the first time in that broadcast that Samantha Mowat and I actually collaborated on a single broadcast. She's always had her broadcasts on different days, and mine have been on different days, and we never intersected until last night.
Very nice.
That was a last-minute surprise. Dave Scott messaged me and told me that, rather he asked me if it would be okay if you brought in Samantha Mowat. And I said, of course. Bring her in. By all means. So he did. And, what a wonderful conversation we had. She and I are on the same page. The discussion we had during the show and even after, we were talking about many in-depth things and going into many very highly specific details. Her details align with mine. She understands things about Lyra that at the time she didn't have an explanation for, but she was able to recall certain very highly specific details. Yes, the atmosphere does at some time show purples and blues and reds and greens, and that happens because when Atlas gives off a solar flare that happens to hit Lyra, which is very rare, because of the extreme tilt of our planet, we end up with an aurora borealis of sorts on an entire side of the planet facing the star.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing. It covers the whole half of the planet. And that's what she was remembering.
That would be a great first date, definitely. I'd be impressed.
Absolutely, because of Atlas's size in comparison to the sun, when it gives off a solar flare, it is very large at times. It has a lot of energy. So we end up with a beautiful display, which can last, 3 or 4 Lyran days, which again are about 25 hours in length, versus Earth's rotational speed. So Earth has a 24-hour day, where Lyra has a 25-hour day. It takes slightly longer in its rotation. So the aurora borealis that you see on that side, as the planet is rotating, the whole planet eventually gets to see it all the way around.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we were talking about timelines yesterday.
Yes.
I thought it was very, very interesting and may be helpful for people to understand how things work from that perspective.
Absolutely. We covered timelines. We covered the Mandela effect just a bit. Yes, there can be tampering in a timeline, but a lot of the very big differences that you're seeing are a result of what I like to call a double helix effect between timelines. Sometimes they intersect and they swap places. Other times they intersect and they swap back. You may have 2 or 3. You'll have a triple helix effect where these all intersect, and then you end up with a mix of variables between all of them that are different. So again, the variable count is the same. The values in those variables differ between each timeline in a very subtle way. They're not all identical. So when they cross, certain variables within your timeline will change, and you will notice and remember the difference, which is why people call this the Mandela effect, because of Mandela in Africa. This was a term coined to identify timeline anomalies, and this is why they happen. Frequencies commonly intersect. If each timeline is on its own channel, like a television station or radio station, they all have their own channel just as much as time itself has its own channel. All times exist at the same time. Let's say you were born in 1964. It's now 2016. 1964 still exists. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just in another frequency band that you can't see. Going into that, talking about time travel, it is possible. Once again, you would have to change your own vibratory frequency to match the frequency of a specific time. And all the while taking note of your point of origin's vibratory frequency. Because as time progresses, the illusion of time here, all it really is a frequency change. It's a very subtle frequency change, microscopic frequencies in between each time. Every nanosecond that goes by is a different frequency. Just everly slowly increasing. So, because of this, people have noticed an increase in, let's say, the Schumann resonance. It's not just because the planet itself is increasing in vibration. This is an increase in vibratory frequency of this entire universe. And this happens on a very gradual level. Sometimes you will have a wave of high energy pass through a galaxy or through a solar system, and it will rapidly increase the vibratory frequency of all matter on that planet and other planets and objects within the surrounding area. And this happens, and it helps increase the speed of evolution and awareness, awakening, and healing in some instances. It really depends on the species that is affected. So the way that these things all work, time itself is connected with frequency in a very real way. Time itself, the system of time created here is just a system of measuring moments passing, but it's not based on frequency. If they based it on frequency, it would be far more accurate. They could actually measure the crawl of frequency change as it increases and measure the time based off of that. As a result, develop, let's say, a time machine that can manipulate your entire body's vibratory frequency as well as the device itself to be able to shift in time. It is possible, and we've done it many times.
So, for time travel, you need to use a ship.
Well, that's an easy way to use it, because if you shift, let's say, in time, to a time where, let's say, a boulder existed, where you're standing where it no longer exists, inside of a boulder, it's going to be very painful.
No, I was saying you need to use a spacecraft.
I'm saying that that's why we would use a spacecraft. It's easier to do this in the open of space than it is to do it inside of a planet, because so many variables change over a long stretch of frequency change. Variables are always changing, locations on the planet are always evolving, terrains are always changing. You have erosion, you have new islands forming in the oceans all of the time from volcanic eruptions. You have land shifting. So when you travel far enough in time, it's easier to do it outside of a planet than it is within. For that reason, it's much safer. You don't want to end up under an ocean that wasn't there before. There when you first left.
So how, for instance, do you calculate that? Is that what you need quantum computers for?
Yes. We calculate it both based off of our memory of the planet as it was before, and we base it also off of other factors such as times that we've traveled to in the past, where we've seen massive differences in the land structures. But it's in order to avoid having to take so much time calculating, we focus only on the objects that are actually in space in order to find a position where we can travel to, where we're not going to end up inside of an asteroid. So
for instance, would you
space with less variables to worry about to travel in time than to go look at the planet?
Would you imagine that you would be, for instance, if you wanted to come to Earth, you would imagine yourself standing before the Sphinx or something like that? That is very distinctly this. He said, thinking that the Sphinx is something unique to the planet.
It's a constant, yeah.
Yes, something that has been there for a long time and has not changed much. If you were there, yes, you could travel.
Right.
Back up until that object was built. And know that you're not going to end up inside of a mountain somewhere or under an ocean, maybe under someone's house.
This is like the Philadelphia experiment.
Yes.
I see.
So, the land changes all of the time. People build on it. Destructions happen. Cities are wiped. Wars happen. Cities are wiped. New cities are built. Things are changing constantly here. So, as a result of that, it's always safest to go either to a location where it's remained unchanged for millions of years at least, if not just thousands. It really depends on the stretch of time you plan to jump back to by changing your frequency. in order to ensure that you are not going to end up inside of an object or under an ocean that wasn't there when you first entered your machine to travel. That can be very dangerous.
Thank you very much. I think we need to bring Max in. Max has an important announcement, and it's okay to post it in the chat room. Now, let's see. Jess, can you pick up that and just click the call button on that?
Okay.
Try that. Because it's one of these weird Skype things. Skype is behaving very strangely today. I'm going to have to reboot as well.
Seems like we have a good connection now.
Yeah, but it's just I can't bring people into the call because it's not mine anymore for some reason.
Aww.
If you call Captain Max Steele, your current call will be put on hold.
I know. I'm looking right now to find him. Hold on.
Yeah. Max,
there he
speak
is.
to me.
There he is. I had you. There it is.
Calling the captain. Calling Captain Max. Calling Captain Max. Captain Max, can you hear me? Over. Beep. Oh, by the way, I bought a 10-meter band radio. I can go from 25 megs to 30 megs, which is nice.
Beautiful.
SSB. Anyway, we're dialing Max just at this moment, and apparently it's got an echo unit and a Roger beep. I'm very pleased.
It's having trouble connecting for some reason. Yeah, it's just.
So yeah, CB radio I think might be very useful.
Okay, so it's a false flag event. And there's no other way we can bring in Max and see what he wanted to say. Oh, all right. So it says CEO Elon Musk said around 1 p.m. that a failure occurred while the rocket was being fueled for a test firing of its main engines. Part of the preparations for a planned early Saturday launch of a commercial communication satellite in which Facebook had a stake originated around the upper stage oxygen tank, Musk said on Twitter. Cause still unknown. More soon.
So, there we go. Not much we can do. I keep trying to bring Max in, but there's no reply, and I'm not taking the reply for an answer.
He keeps on saying, "Add me."
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe if Max tries to call me, I'll see if I can add him to the call.
Let me see if I can add.
Yeah, you try
to add him to
the
call again. There he is. We'll see if that works.
Yeah, let's try. I'll let him make his announcement. We'll finish the show.
Finish the show and okay.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, Audrey.
All right.
See you later.
Thank you, Audrey, for coming on. Bye. Have a good day.
Good night.
Good night.
We came from the future.